Chicago Bears are coming off a season where they were one of the worst teams in the entire NFL, sitting with a record of 3-14, and as we approach the offseason, the Bears had so much work to do to improve this roster. The Bears also had the #1 pick in this upcoming draft, and many believe that they needed to trade back just due to the factor that they already have their future quarterback in Justin Fields. A few weeks later, boom, the Bears absolutely stole a young and upcoming wide receiver as well as stacking up picks. What I really want to focus on, though, is their new look defense. The Bears have already added 4 potential starters to the defense as well as 2 role players and have completely turned this defense around for the better. In this video, I'll be breaking down all of the moves they have made defensively so far and what they need to do next in order to shock the world in 2023. However, before we jump into the video, make sure you guys smash that like button. It helps out the channel so much. So let's see if we can get the video up to 400 likes. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will be covering the Bears and the rest of the NFL all year long, so join the family. And one last thing, comment down below, who do you think is going to be the most impactful player for this Bears team in 2023? And who do you think is the most underrated player? But without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so the Bears rank number 32 in points allowed, number 29 in yards allowed per game, number 32 in opposing third down conversion percentage, number 32 in opposing touchdowns allowed per game. Legitimately, just an awful season for the defense, but again, we have some good news. In my opinion, and the signings that they've made support this claim that I'm about to make. I think the Bears are completely comfortable letting the secondary, develop through the offseason, and primarily, they'll probably keep it pretty much untouched until the draft. Maybe they'll add some young talent in the draft, but I don't think they're going to bring in any free agents to the secondary. I think they just want some of these guys like Kyler Gordon and Kindle Vildor, Jaquan Brisker, Jalen Johnson. I think they just want these guys to just develop from here on out. Now, let's talk about their primarily big focus coming into the offseason was just solidifying their front seven, and they pretty much did exactly that. First, they brought in TJ Edwards, who is coming over from one of the best defenses in all of football, the Philadelphia Eagles. He will bring leadership, knowledge, and overall just talent to this linebacker position, which they lacked pretty much all last year. Over a 4-year career, TJ has put up 389 tackles, 215 of those were solo. He's got 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions as well. Not only will TJ come in and add, tremendous depth, but he's also going to be, a very impactful player from day one, for the rest of his time here in Chicago. They also added another linebacker, in Tremaine Edmonds. Now, from the Buffalo Bills, he's also going to come over and probably be a day one starter as well. Now, over his 5-year career in Buffalo, he's accounted for 565 tackles, 359 of those were solo. He also has 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 5 interceptions as well. I mean, very, very, very productive player. Now, from there, they went on and added one more linebacker to the rotation, and a guy named Dylan Cole. Now, Cole is looking to come over here to Chicago to primarily play in the backup role behind the guys like TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. But he can still be a reliable player when he enters the game. Throughout his 6-year career, he's rallied up 147 tackles, 97 solo, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, and 11 stuffs. Another solid addition to this defensive rotation. From there, everybody knew that the defensive line needed pretty much a new overhaul, and they did exactly that. Firstly, bring in Andrew Billings, who will most likely step in from day one and be the starter at defensive tackle alongside Justin Jones. Throughout Billings' 5-year career, he's played for 3 teams, including the Bengals, the Browns, and most formerly of the Raiders. In his career, he's put up 120 tackles, 67 solo, 4.5 sacks, 19 stuffs, and like I said, I like Billings a lot, but don't be surprised the Bears go out and maybe add some more defensive tackle depth in this draft. They might need to get a little bit younger. You got Andrew Billings, you got Justin Jones, but after that, you got, Jalen Holmes, Andrew Brown, Donovan Jeter, not too much behind them, so don't be surprised if the Bears go and add some young talent at this defensive tackle position in this draft. They might be able to snag a guy like Jalen Carter. Let me know what you guys think about that. But with that being said, they continue to add more to the defense line after Andrew Billings, and more notably around edge rushers. And actually, just today, the Bears brought in free agent edge rusher Rasheed Rasheed Green. Now, this is a very underrated signing in my opinion, just because he's coming off a really solid 2 years where he was flying under the radar, but eventually he was just stolen by the Bears. I think this is going to go down as a steal. Over Green's 5-year career, he's played in 69 games, rallying up 136 tackles, 83 solo, 17 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 recoveries, and 9.5 stuffs as well. Green will be an immediate starter if the Bears decide not to take a top-end pass rusher in this draft, which is just a couple of weeks away. And again, they didn't stop there, adding another edge rusher in DeMarcus Walker. Another underrated signing in my opinion. Walker is coming off a career season with the Tennessee Titans, and again, the Bears might have just found a nice little gem in free agency. Over his 6-year career, he's brought in 114 tackles, 75 solo, 19.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 10.5 stuffs. Overall, this defense has drastically improved, adding 4 potential starters. Now, when we look at this roster, you got Trevis Gibson, Justin Jones, who are both on the team last season. But from there, they've added DeMarcus Walker, a potential starter. You got Andrew Billings, most likely a starter. Rasheed Green, probably a starter. TJ Edwards, starter. Tremaine Edmonds, starter. Dylan Cole, potentially a good rotational piece. And then you look at the secondary. Jalen Johnson is so good, so young, so up and coming. Jaquan Brisker, Eddie Jackson, Kendall Vildor, Kyler Gordon. I mean, this defense is absolutely stacked. They do need some time to develop and get better over time. But when I sit here and when I look at this roster and this depth chart, I see a ton of potential. Now, I do see that although they have 4 potential starters, maybe 5 potential new stars on this team, there is still a lot of work to do on this defense, especially in the defensive line. Now, like I said, I like Trevis Gibson, I like Andrew Billings, I like Rasheed Green, but I do think they need a sense of young, up-and-coming talent at the position. I mean, they're such a young team overall, offensively, defensively. They're so young. Now, I do think there is some positives to have, some veterans coming over here and produce for them, but there's also some positive things that come out of drafting some defensive linemen and have them learn and develop under some of these other guys. So I think the Bears have a lot of work to do to make sure this defense is ready to go for 2023. But the most important thing they need to do next is just development. This secondary, like I said, is extremely young and has so much untapped potential, but they need to continue to work and get better from here on out. Once we get to the mini camp and training camp and all that, these guys need to come out here and show improvement from last year. And if they do that, this could honestly be one of the most improved defenses of the entire NFL. Let me know in the comment section down below, who do you want the Bears to add in this draft? They have a ton of picks and opportunities to become one of the most exciting teams in the entire NFL. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.